Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and holy shit, Woodstock 1999. This documentary kind of blew my mind. How much of a like babies we are in terms of society and societal norms and all that jazz. But breaking this auspicious documentary with me is my faithful co-host. I mean, I'm her co-host. What the fuck am I talking about? You'll see her notes, and you're like, "Who the fuck is running shit?" Oh, it's BigFemVader from FierceFemales. Ayesha Raymond. Ayesha, what's going on?
I'm good. I just it's been a while. I haven't spoken to you, and I wanted to do this thing justice. This was like a massive eye opener for me. I literally had to watch it once in awe, and then a second time to make sure I got this completely right. So I'm gonna try.
So, were there any differences in opinion from the first viewing to the second?
I got to break down things a little bit more in my head. It was just like situations and even mainstream artists at the time and society views at the time didn't actually click in I'm not going to reveal my age, very young BigFemVader at the time. And I watched this back, and it made me feel a little bit guilty about like my iPod at the time, and I might throw it away.
And it's funny because in recent years, people have kind of pretty much shitted on bands like Nickelback and Creed and what have you.
Why?
And
Creed was awesome.
I think so too. Like, I even think Limp Bizkit is awesome, right? Like, it served its purpose for what they were trying to accomplish. That's exactly it. And this is, Limp Bizkit and Fred Durst are pretty, I guess, prominently featured in this documentary. Even though I wish that was kind of the main qualm that I had, was one of the main qualms. There are many qualms, I should say, but the fact that they didn't go to, like, the co-promoter John was basically shitting on Fred Durst, and he wasn't there to defend himself, and I thought that was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they basically blamed him.
Yes.
No, it's not his fault. It wasn't his fault.
No, 100%. But wouldn't, like, giving interviews like everything is fucking fine, and literally there's like fires happening beyond him, people getting raped and pillaged and shit like that. But fuck, I mean, let's take it from the top. I don't want to get too far in without like going in chronological order. So, like, what was the first thing that kind of stuck out to you?
The first thing that kind of stuck out to me was how I didn't actually realize at the time the divide in MTV, Nickelodeon, and Nick Jr., that kind of mainstream audience. I generally thought everybody was happy clappy and everything was cool. And it was just a gradual shift where you went from almost kind of, well, I'm English, so I had girl power and bubblegum anyway. But in America, you had new rock, you had new age rock, and you had hip hop merging into rock. And then you had them kind of pushing that all aside for the bubblegum pop bands.
Yeah.
And I, at the time, didn't realize there was a complete divide. I didn't realize that they basically, these almost industry machines is what we know them now of, your Britney Spearses, your NSYNCs, your Backstreet Boys. They were kind of almost the grand reset. As I am, like, I'm a wrestler, so we know the PG era was our grand reset. They tried to almost grand reset the music industry and bring in a younger audience and then grow up with them again, which angered the older audience that they were surrounded by. And I didn't notice it. I'm English. We had Top of the Pops and we had everything else. So everybody was integrated, but America was a very different place.
Yeah. And I mean, just like looking at the 2019, or I'm sorry, the 1999 Billboard top hot 100 singles, right? You had Shares Believe, TLC No Scrubs, right, 100%. I love that song till this day. Angel of Mine by Monica, Sixpence None the Richer's cover of Kiss Me, Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More
One more
Time,
time.
Genie and the Bottle by Christina Aguilera, Every Morning by Sugar Ray, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here, Deborah Cox, right? And Livin' La Vida Loca rounds out the top 10 Hot 100 singles of 1999 by none other than Ricky Martin.
That man
You
could
go back down the
move.
list, you go like 702, Where My Girl's At, front to back. If You Had My Love with Jennifer Lopez, Slide. I mean, that's literally like throwing shit and just like, I mean, and at the same time, right, where all this music and is coming from everywhere, every genre is like literally throwing shit against the wall and trying to make it stick and what have you. But you also had the kind of prevailing kind of undercurrent of, uh, mm, I guess, illegally downloaded music, right? Napster,
Napster,
LimeWire,
LimeWire, what is it?
Kazam.
What's it? Because no, there was another one. What was it? Oh no, I don't know that there was another one.
There, I mean, statute of limitations. Let's go with that, right? Like yeah, you don't remember at all.
I get dropped on my head a lot.
Facts, facts. But yeah, so okay, so obviously this thing starts off. They in 1969 they had the original Woodstock, right? 1994 they kind of rehashed the whole deal and had bands like the Cranberries, and it was like a nice affair. Somehow, some way, John and Michael, I forget his name, but they're the I guess Michael. Fuck, what is his name? What is his name? The Woodstock guy. I want to say Flynn, but that also could be like a
I didn't
disgraced
have
war
my.
general here. But in any event, right?
It was him.
They decided to do this, right? Now, the original Woodstock of '69 was supposed to be based on peace, love, understanding, and the whole deal. Um, and then this one, they made sure that they distanced themselves pretty far and away from the original auspice of '69, right? This ain't your grandmother, grandfather's Woodstock. This ain't your mother's Woodstock. This ain't your father's Woodstock.
This
By
is your
getting
Woodstock.
people like fucking Limp Bizkit and
And
Korn and
Korn and
Metallica,
Metallica. Oh, look, we're in sync.
Megadeth. Megadeth closes out the fucking third night.
One lady place. I was like, oh my god! I had no. No,
Yeah.
I'm marking out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need to stop.
So, I mean, at this point, I mean, we're pretty early on, right? But then, the I guess the shroud of secrecy, the rose-colored glasses, essentially get peeled off by, the kind of the underlying current of what Michael, the founder of Woodstock, tried to do. This is a shameless cash grab, and a lot of people, because it was meant that way. The Woodstock documentary, and for those who had seen it at the time, it was just like again, all this incredible stuff, but it kind of almost in the Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman says about ECW, kind of back in the day during the rise and fall of ECW DVD, he goes, it's accentuating the positive, hiding the negatives, and that's essentially what the '69 Woodstock documentary did. Right? We see all of the Joan Baez and the Hendrix lighting his fucking, or not lighting his guitar on fire. Right, Wyclef Jean, because you try to fucking light your guitar on fire a little bit later.
How did they
but
ruin it so badly?
And it was hot. It was hot as
It's-
shit. It wasn't like there was a wind gust or anything like that or whatever. It was hot as shit by all intents and purposes. This motherfucker tries to set the fire to the guitar. Like, but again, that was Monterey Pop '69. That wasn't even fucking Woodstock, yo. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
That was the thing. I mean, that it said, like, we're not going to jump too ahead because we do have a chronological order, that's fine. But it is said that the problem is they tried to rehash from the past when literally about everybody who was there would never remember what was on the past. This is pre-YouTube, everybody searching on YouTube. So they would have no idea some of the throwbacks that were happening. I could see it, but
Yeah. Michael Lang is the gentleman's name. Michael
There you
Lang.
go.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, let's go in the chronological order, and I'm trying not to shit on society too bad.
nah, it's all right. Twitter does it enough.
Twitter doesn't know. I went into Scotty doesn't know, but Twitter doesn't know. But Twitter knows everything. There's bots for that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, okay. So you go. It's your turn now. I gave you my piece.
Oh,
you just want me to just keep speaking?
Yeah,
I did.
100%.
I do have a list.
Yes.
Look at
All
that.
right,
Look,
for sure.
look,
Come on.
Thank you. But it was just like you said, they kind of painted Woodstock to be this kind of almost magical fairy tale, and almost kind of forgetting. I mean, everybody knows what happened in the 60s and 70s. Let's not like beat around the bush here. There was sex, drugs, and alcohol, and it was to the max, and it was to the high, and everybody knew, and they were very high. Mm-hmm. And as much as there was a lot of peace, there was a lot of love, there was music, and there was happiness, and there was dancing, there was a lot of chaos. Like, there were a lot of injuries, there were a lot of assaults, there were a lot of vandalization that happened. People broke in. They literally tore the wall down in 69 so they could get through, so they didn't have to pay for tickets. That was one of the reasons why in 99 they chose the venue that they did, supposedly.
And again, that's I think that's a crazy backdrop, because obviously, you know, I can't remember where the I believe Utica, New York, maybe
around New York,
right? They had the first Woodstock. I can't remember where.
Oh, the first one. Sorry,
yeah. But you know, they basically have it on a fucking retired Air Force base for '99, which again, peace, love, understanding, at a fucking Air Force fucking base and shit like that, and like it's not even lost. I mean, it's total loss on Michael Lang's fucking mind, because they were doing press conferences with him and John and what have you, and he doesn't even get the fucking irony. Like, peace, love, and all this shit and whatever with a generation too far removed, a generation and a half removed from the original auspices of Woodstock. And, like, we're going to have peace, love, understanding on a fucking retired, like, not even the fucking military want anything to do with this fucking place.
I know. It was like, we'll get into it, but it was the peaceful stuff that broke my heart. I was just like, you couldn't. The introduction to the peace wall. When I saw the children doing the designing, that's what killed me the most. It's a simple fact that this is a wall built for peace, and you're gonna kick it down.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of children, there's a not cool story told by one of the EMT folk, one of the rescue personnel. Not good, man. But you know, go on.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, that story, I think that was actually my next. Let's get into the assaults.
Yeah. Shit, man.
So, as many people know, most concerts or festivals, people are quite knit close, and like there is no breathing space, there is no human space, there is no space. Realistically, now in our day and age, going into a festival right now gives me anxiety. But there were moments during mosh pits, there were moments during performances, there were moments during during acts where women were
fondled, groped, molested,
being told to be ripped apart.
Yeah.
Show me your tits. Even that was on stage at one point.
Rosie Perez, man.
Yeah,
Rosie
there you go.
Perez came out with Stephen Baldwin from Biodome, right?
Or Bonnie Rubble.
Yeah, that too. Oh my god, you remember that?
Yeah.
Because I believe he doesn't. Nor Alec, but that's another story for another day. Uh, but yeah, like he's just looking kind of dumbfounded, and they're screaming to Rosie Perez like, "Show your tits" and whatever. He didn't know what the fuck to do. Like whose idea? What the fuck were they promoting? Like what failed Fox sitcom where Rosie Perez and Stephen Baldwin in '99 that they're like, ha, yeah, you two out in front of a fucking 100,000 people that are horny and they want to see Limp Bizkit.
Oh, but she played it right. She's right. You've got to pay a lot more money than you have paid for your ticket to see these, and that should be the answer every time.
10 points.
Apart from the woman that said "Show me your dick" on her t-shirt, that was just
Yeah.
like 20 points.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on. Right on. 10 points. I don't want to get to 10. You got a 20 from me or whatever. I'm so set in my ways. Good God. I'm a dude, but I'm not these fucking dudes. Who the fuck are these guys, man? And you know what was, ooh, because assaults. I mean, wouldn't it fall under the same kind of constraints as the destruction of property and what have you? Because there were parts of this where they're destroying all of the fucking stages and all this shit. It reminded me of fucking January 6th, 2020. Or was it 2021? That was this year. Holy shit,
Yes.
that was this year. Like the fucking attack at the Capitol. Like, same fucking, what is it, setup and whatever, and panels being whatever. I was like, oh shit. I know what happened to them at Woodstock 99. I know where they're now. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, but it's the like again. I was listening to music during this era, and I can understand now from watching this why, at a point, sometimes it probably wasn't the greatest idea in the world. You were coming from an era of Nirvana, and Kurt Cobain was a very gentle soul, and he spoke a lot about society and cultural differences and oppression, and especially the oppression of women. Even the fact that he tried to almost open the gates by doing shows and cross-dressing. And then after Kurt passed, you basically revolted into this almost kind of angry death metal. Like I'm not shitting on it because I when Korn started playing, my hair was going. This is why it's so screwed up now. But you kind of reverted into this angry kind of rage-filled, almost culture where, to be honest, it wasn't actually good promoting that to highly testosteronified men. That was the problem. You've got pent-up men with pent-up aggression in hostile situations, and you've put them all together to allow them to act like barbarians. It was like Lord of the Flies, but everybody had penises. There were like 4 vaginas, and everybody else had penises.
It's amazing that you mentioned that because of this entire bill, right? I mean, for 1999, a lot of the tickets, even the fucking cheapies, were $188, which, I mean, adjusted for inflation, that's like, that's Coachella levels of fucking, patronage, right? So the fact that they had three fucking female acts, Alanis Morissette, Sheryl Crow, and Jules, respectively, and on Saturday
3 different
nights.
days.
Yes. Holy fuck, man! It's just like, what? And again, John, I forget his last name, but John, along with Michael Lang, produced and cultivated the Woodstock '99. But blaming it on fucking Fred Durst, man. Like, you fucking booked the bill. Like, you didn't think any of this shit? Have you listened to it? Like, you booked Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit knowing what the fuck whatever. Or did you not know? And this is just a shameless cash grab.
It was Alanis Morissette was the first act, and then after that, literally Korn, Limp Bizkit, Metallica. So where were you going? Like, the greatest, okay, cool. But where were you going with this? You went, okay, let's chill him down in the afternoons, so as they kind of sober up, and now let's make him crazy in the evening. Yeah. Why?
Oh, and a reprieve. We have a rave tent. where you could get all of the fucking acid and all of the LSD and all of whatever with fucking like boinking music and fucking poor Moby, man. Like
He walked
Moby,
out.
poor Moby. Because I mean, around the time, right? He. I know maybe it's not of the time period, but I remember him distinctly having kind of or like he was at odds with both Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit as well as Eminem, right? And they both said unkind things to him, and maybe just the genre that he was attached to. And Moby's a different type of cat, based on a lot of the shit. I mean, again, hit songs of '99. We've got like 98 Degrees, and then Drew Hill and Jordan Knight of the fucking New Kids of the Block having Give It to You. Like, it's just all over the fucking place, man. Shania Twain's in here, right? So, I feel bad for Moby because, like, he was totally into, like, I'm fucking playing Woodstock. It was almost like a childlike, kind of aspiration.
Rite of passage for him.
Yeah, it was just amazing, right? And he and his band tried to, stay the entire fucking weekend. After night one, they was like, fuck this shit. Like Moby, little Moby, with the fucking big ass 10-gallon head but little body, goes, fuck this, I'm out. Like, look, let's put it into fucking context. Like Moby left, but Vern Troyer, Mini-Me stayed. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I wonder how they were. How was he crowd surfing?
Who?
That would have been dangerous, Mini-Me.
He would have died that day. Or R.I.P. Vern
He
Troyer.
did.
I mean, he died later.
Eventually, but not that day.
Yeah, not that day. They would have fucking dropped his ass. And again, that's just indicative of the crowd that day. The folks that could afford to pay this ticket, it's indicative. Like, they were out for blood. They were out for blood. Pissed off, misogynistic. Man, it was just weird. I do want to talk about, like, because they had a lot of talking heads, right? They had somebody from the New York Times, a person of Afrocentric origins.
Oh, the guy with the glasses.
With the fucking mustache.
Yeah, I know. I was
wanted to shave that son bitch off. That looked like a weird ass caterpillar. I didn't like. What is it? The fucking Bianca Belair. You don't go here. You don't fucking go here. You fucking mustache. What the fuck is that?
I know.
Didn't even his face. Somebody
like
that is like almost a face tattoo, right? That he's telling me he doesn't have any friends or they're not good friends, right? Because somebody should have sat his ass down and was like, yo. I mean, even like at any time before the fucking documentary, it was like, yo, do you realize this shit is going on HBO, right? Like, shave that fucking shit off. That annoys me, whatever, right? And same thing, like face tattoo. Don't you know some, like, your fucking life transgressions might not be the same way that it is now, and you might have to get job at a bank and shit. And they're not going to say, stay tired across your fucking eyelids. Like, again, there needs to be that friend. Somebody needs to be the friend of this New York Times journalist who wasn't even there. He's just a fucking talking head.
You know what makes it worse? They probably put makeup on there to make it look darker.
Jesus
for the lighting.
It wasn't even, like, it was like a fucking black Cheeto. That's what it was. It didn't even come down. It was like so, there was some point he formed it to be such. Yeah. Ooh. Swear to God.
This poor dude. But yes, he had a point. He did have a point though, and I forget the point that he did have. Aha, yes, DMX. So
yes, let's get
he had
that.
a very, very good point. Now, it is not okay. Never it is okay. I don't care if it's in a song, in a poem, in a rhyme, in a book, written on a chair, if it's graffiti on a wall. It is not, nor will it ever be okay. And I'm not saying that DMX, rest in peace, allowed his DMX-ness to almost kind of make it so if it was okay for these guys to say what they said. But he had a point, the black guy. He had a point. What were the very few minorities feeling when you're surrounded? You got no friends right now. You are surrounded by a sea of snowflakes, and it's like you can't punch anyone, can't have an opinion because everyone's doing it. And tomorrow, if they say this to me, what do I do? Because it's on TV, it's everywhere. But I did agree with him on that. It's not okay. No, just no.
Never okay, man. Racial epithets are like that's just like if you're using imagery, right? The what became the swastika, right, was a Native American symbol,
Sign of
right?
peace.
Right, sign of peace, and then obviously Hitler, Germany, and what have you. Like you can't, in the words of Matchbox 20, you can't get back to good, right? You can't bring that back, especially when a lot of people, and most people are like, oh, it's a symbol, it's a word, or whatever. But you got to remember, in many people's instances, this is the first time or the last thing they would hear before they left this earth unceremoniously, right? Like gas chambers and in World War II, lynchings and cross burnings of the 50s and 60s, and to
Just
some
before a
extent,
cop pulled you over.
yeah, absolutely. So again, these are things that again, this is the last words or things that Tom in this life. The level of insecurity, the unsafeness, like there was nobody. You can cry out to your deity all you want. Nobody's fucking saving you, right? So that's what you can't. My N word. I mean, there's the pretty popular fucking restaurant here, something barrel. I call it Biscuit Barrel. That's not the name of it, but that's it. My kids get sick, chicken soup or whatever. You grab a packet of biscuits to fucking do it. Yes, because my mom's of the British Commonwealth, but hey, I'm not using. To me, that's a racial epithet, the C word. So I'm not using it. Like I'm not. I don't want you to call me that. I don't want whatever. Like that's not what we're doing.
I completely agree with you because it's like if it's again I'm not gonna be that person. I'm not gonna do that thing. But it seems really weird to me, especially as a person who is quite brown, how instances like this and things that are generally offensive, things that are generally, if you have to ask me if it's okay, then you know that it's not okay. Why is it brushed aside?
Yes, and just not to beat a dead horse, but Wiz Khalifa, right, pretty prominent rapper who might use the N word in a lot of his art, right? Okay, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast for damn near 3 hours. Do you know how many times he uttered that word?
0.
Yeah, in a 3 hour podcast. But you can do a 40-minute album runtime and everything. There's 18 iterations of that word. Nah, no, man. That's not what we're doing. I hate to speak ill of the dead, but Nipsey Hussle, right? There's, kind of lauded in certain circles and what have you. And he was trying to bridge the gap between, South Central to Silicon Valley. And that, again, is a virtuous endeavor, right? But if somebody really idolized Nipsey Hussle and conducted themselves, whatever, you're getting the face tattoos, you're getting the N words or whatever. So walk into Microsoft with face tattoo and N words and go, are you getting the job?
Hire me.
Yeah, it's not happening. So you almost cut yourself off at the knees before you even fucking start to run, when it's a paradox of what the mission statement is supposed to be or what you purport it to be.
I mean, it's weird how people pick and choose for money, because like you said, he did a 3-hour podcast. Not once was it said that he understood what the money word was and he used it for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Heck, even when Nipsey Hussle, died, that was very stark, because when you think about it, I think only 3 people have been memorialized, right, and had their funerals at the Staples Center, right? It's Michael Jackson was the first, right? Then we had I don't know who went first, but it was Nipsey and Kobe Bryant, right? Well, in Nipsey Hussle, they turned that shit into a backyard barbecue. Again, like everything that people love or hated about Michael Jackson, love or hated about Kobe Bryant, but more often than not, regarded as reveled. They were reveled, right? Kobe Bryant, Michael Jackson, right? And then you get, I mean, literally, N-word this, N-word that, smoke this, whatever, whatever. And again, that's what you do. But imagine if somebody's in Sweden, right? And like, we're gonna take you back to our hood and show you what we're about, right? And this is what they're fucking seeing in Sweden, right? That negates if, let's say, somebody who grew up in South Central ended up becoming a doctor, a surgeon, a cardiothoracic surgeon, whose skills are so sought after that they are brought to Sweden, right? 20 years after Nipsey Hussle's memorial, whatever. And then the person who's in charge of bringing this South Central, transplant in, is like, oh, in the back of their mind, no matter what laurels this person did and shed some of that hood type mentality, right? That is going to permeate on the person that's giving the interview. And again, this is supposedly from a person that wanted to bridge the gap from South Central to Silicon Valley. This is, I mean, you had no less than Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg, who, by all intents and purposes, have shed their gangsta, like they are. I mean, fucking Snoop Dogg is doing shit with Martha Stewart. Like, they're doing a cooking show. Like, they're in middle American homes and shit like that. They're no longer the Mandingo of sorts, right? They're not scary anymore. But on that day, they reverted back to that hood deal. Ice Cube, fuck the what is it? Are We There Yet? And all of the other movies that he's made, right? All the advancements that he's made to turn the tide of people's misconceptions of what hood culture could be or is, and they reverted right back. Mm-hmm. So, what the fuck?
I know. I mean, it's even the other point that the Mr. Tash made was the overly use and the wrong way of using Black culture, Black music, and ethnic culture and ethnic music. And this is something I studied and I still believe in to this day. For some reason, and it's not a bash at anybody who likes, I'm a very eclectic person. I like every kind of music. I studied it. And it's not a bad thing to like any music of any culture. But what is kind of prominent and what is highlighted when, I love you, when white people do Black music, instead of taking the beats, instead of taking the rhythm, instead of taking the almost kind of the what essence it makes it good, what's usually taken is the aesthetic, the thug mentality, and all the negative things that kind of surround it. That's when you get your Kid Rocks. That's when you get your, unfortunately, Limp Bizkit. Like, I love Limp Bizkit, but the aesthetic is there. And instead of kind of emphasizing all the positive things about urban music, Black culture, Black music, hip hop, R&B, soul, reggae, we can name them all, most of what's taken is kind of the negative, and it's kind of publicized and accentuated to the max, where it almost becomes comedic on our point of view. Really is. Does that make sense?
My dad taught me when I was younger, because I was getting into the AC/DCs and what have you, and all around the time where, again, the Eminems and the Kid Rocks are popping up, and that's not a dig on them, right?
No, but I think they're amazing artists, but
Black culture, this is from my dad, Black culture will always be cool. Black people, never cool.
Yeah, that's why they steal our culture, but they don't want us to win. You can do what I 5 years ago, I could not get a job with this on my head. but everybody else could
Oh yeah, I mean, what happens to
because it's cool.
every culture that ends up, dabbling in the reefer, right? Doesn't matter what the fuck happens. They start listening to reggae more, and they fucking start getting dreads. It's crazy, so fucking crazy. But again, if the, I guess the people of the culture that pretty much origin this fucking hairstyle and look did it again. Oh, scary, so
It's bad,
scary.
rough. I look like I'm gonna rob a bank. I really do.
Set it off, right? Innit?
Oh, that was a good film.
Yeah.
First film I ever saw somebody die. Queen Latifah she was sprayed with. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Swiss cheese, as Dave
Oh,
Chappelle said, right? Swiss cheese. Jesus, man. Yeah. So, I guess what else we got?
okay. So we've also got quite horribly is the influence of the infamous Girls Gone Wild. So again, there was a lot of titty flashing. There were a lot of boobies in this documentary. Thank you. There are a lot of boobies.
There,
But the overly kind of highlighted fact of your MTV eras, because that's what it was. I mean, MTV was notorious for topless announcers. There you have them; they were there. Beach announcers, they were topless, and as soon as they got 18, it was just like Simpsons. The cane came out, they in, and the other one was replaced. But this kind of overly highlighted, almost making women a product. They were just nothing more than a piece of meat. After we came from an era when they were trying to empower women, you had one instance, probably 3 days, that basically took all of that away.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and you mentioned the MTV era. They kind of started out this documentary about Carson Daly, who was the host of TRL, and if you watch a previous podcast that we did of Josie and the Pussycats, right? We kind of detailed, right? Carson Daly, Tara Reid, or whatever. For this fucking audience, right? This is as poignant for this audience, bringing Carson Daly out. And then, I don't know, like the parental council going to a fucking Kiss concert in 72 or whatever the fuck. Like
he was the right to censor. That's what he was.
Exactly, man. Shout out to Molly. Wait, no, was it Molly? No, it was Ivory. It was Ivory.
Ivory.
Yeah, man. But shit, man, he was pelted with bottles. And again, what stuck out to me is like a lot of people were searching over this year, especially here in the States. I hope they were, right? Because if you went through 2020 and not go, what the fuck? How did we get here? Right? Well, I did. And this was indicative of like how we got here. You saw a lot of the seeds of what culture, pop culture, how we consume things and everything, how we interact with things, right? It became pretty fucking apparent like here. And again, Carson Daly or anybody with that MTV satchel, hey, you remember there was a guy, he used to be our president. Like literally the one before the guy that we got now.
No,
and remember when he was like fake news, fuck that, and like reporters that were there to whatever, they got pelted and cursed out and carried out and beat up, shot at. What happened to Carson Daly?
I remember. We've just got rid of him. We don't have to flash back to those times.
Man, it's not any better. It's not any better.
Hey, dude, that's your country.
Hey, I'm telling you, dude. I mean, it's the fucking George Carlin bit, like they're all in a club and you're not invited. It doesn't matter what the fuck, how you vote. It's all there, man. It's yeah. How the fuck did we get to that way? Bruce Pritchard tells the story, right? Because of Jim Ross, Oklahoma Boomer Sooners. There's a story about how the Sooners ended up becoming. So there was this deal when they were first settling and whatever, and they were like, hey, you can stake out your plot of land in the morning, right? in the morning you can go ahead and see what land that you and your family are gonna have and build a homestead and all that shit and whatever. Well, there's these motherfuckers that in the middle of the night when everyone else is asleep the morning before you're supposed to claim the land, they got out sooner than the rest of the pack. So all of the fucking nice riverfront property and everything that Oklahoma has to offer, those motherfuckers got there sooner by fucking cheating. And I think that's America, right? You go back to the gold rush, right? You go back to the fucking gold rush. Motherfuckers got there, and everybody else is like, oh, you can't go here, right? Border. Like, everybody immigrant. We're proud to be an immigrant until other immigrants come, like, you can't go
They
here.
were like, nope, you can't, nope, stop.
That's the American way. It's like, fucking get in the door and shut that motherfucker before anyone else comes.
You tried to work there.
And also know nothing about any other culture but being American, but also not speak English, right? It's like I've seen some Twitter comments, folks. You speak one language, you can't even fucking do that right, man. And here, I've got a high school fucking diploma from Inglewood High. I try to make sure I read what I write and whatever. It's my wife fucking, you fucked up that whatever. You put 2 instead of whatever. And I will fix that on every social media. I will delete a tweet to re-upload it with the correct fucking grammar.
Same.
So, yeah, but, again, shutting the door and totally being oblivious to anything else around you. Every other culture, every other fucking, country, all that shit. How many people knew about fucking Afghanistan pre 9/11? Not many.
Good point.
Myself included, but not many.
Good point. Very, very good point. Very, very good point.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's pretty. I'm saying that's the way it is. Some things will never change, Bruce Hornsby.
No, you had your rant. You had your rant. You can have a rant about another president. So another president was quite widely mentioned throughout this documentary because his treatment towards, non-penis people was very, 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 very bad. Bill Clinton.
Are we talking about Billy?
Yes, we are.
William Jefferson Clinton. Which,
Saxophone
by the way,
dude at all, okay?
On my way to Georgia, right, for my uncle's funeral, we stopped off in Little Rock. Right? I knew the damn museum or the presidential library was there. Did I want to go in it? Fuck no. There's a lot about Little Rock that is fucking awesome. Little Rock, Arkansas, shout out to you. But I had no fucking wants or need.
You weren't even
to
curious?
get in that fucking... No, especially the fucking... We're not even talking about that. We're just talking about the fucking Epstein shit of what we found out over the last year.
Good point. Yeah.
Oh, and you want to talk about Epstein shit? Oh, Anthony Kiedis closes out like night 3. So when told, hey, we need to calm motherfuckers down, he lights into Jimi Hendrix fire.
Oh wow.
I swear to God, you can't write this shit.
I think he just needs to put that as a clip. Just
I've met him. I mean, it was one of the most out of body experiences, and I met him at fights because one of my friends who was fighting at a local regional MMA show here in California. Well, he and his twin brother struggled with addiction, right? So he went to one of the meetings, and essentially, Kiedis was there, and Kiedis was like, "Oh, you fight?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Can I come?" And Kiedis fucking shows up. At the fucking room couldn't have been more than 1,000 people, maybe. I would even say that. I think that's even a fucking I'm blowing it out of proportion. It might have been fucking 300 to 800 people there, and that's a big card. $75 a pop for everyone. But yeah, no, and Kiedis was there, and I got a picture with them. And for me, like the Adam in 1999, the Adam to 2003 when I ended up graduating high school. It was all about fucking combat sports, whether it be pro wrestling and later MMA, and then fucking listening to Chili Peppers and Sublime, and knowing that I'm traveling the same streets as this, and I get to see fucking Anthony Kiedis, who is in the middle of a fucking world tour that I couldn't fucking afford, but he was sitting there watching my friends fucking duke it out. I meet Anthony Kiedis at a fucking MMA show, and he's in my world? Like, what the fuck is that? But also, he was on that Epstein list.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Allegedly. I wasn't there, so fuck it.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
I wasn't there either.
Yeah. DJ Yannick's over there in the UK says, according to Woods, I hope you're safe and well. Hope again, Yellow Ranger. Hello again, Yellow Ranger. I love that reference. And just dropped in to see your beautiful faces. DJ Yannick, you're the best. Love it. And I hope you and the wife are well. And you stay safe, my good brother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will be the Yellow Ranger.
Yes.
Eventually. Warner Brothers book it. Actually, no. Who owns the Power Rangers?
What, the current incarnation or?
Current incarnation. It's Disney, isn't it?
I fucking didn't know, man. I jumped off after we started switching them after the Mighty Morphins.
I don't know. I think it was Power Rangers in Space. I watched on Fox TV.
There was a space one. There was
throughout.
one where there was a dinosaurs and shit, Dino Force, whatever. There was one where the Power Rangers were cops. They're fucking the 5-0. Oh, Saban owns it.
No idea.
Oh yeah, fucking Ham Saban, yeah, 100%. Thank you, DJ Yannick. Yeah, that's a Ham Saban. I should know that because there's a fucking huge building that has his name on it. There's a theater at the footnote of Beverly Hills. That's the Saban Theater. So
shame on you. You should know these things. Pay attention to your surroundings.
There's a lot of fucking shit in the head. A lot of fucking shit in the city. I don't know.
So, have you digested all your food? Is it gone?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's get into the shit show.
Yes, I think we shall. Because you can't tell a Woodstock story of any fucking year, whether it be 69, 94, or 99, without getting into this shit. And we're not talking about the Dogma reference of podcasts of old. No, man, there was some shit. And there was some conception of shit. Like, literally fucking 10 years before Two Girls, One Cup. Like, that was the showers. Yeah. So
I'm looking for things to comfort me. I have Jake and I have Shaft. I can't.
Wait, Jake and Sean? Oh, okay.
Shaft.
Oh, Shaft. I was like, Sean. I'll shit on Sean any day. He's a fucking asshole. No matter what your fucking conversion will tell you. Yeah, fuck. Sean's an asshole. Marty rocks. No. Marty fucking wanted to date his daughter or some shit. Fuck the Rockers.
Is that your wrestling rant, Dad?
Never forget.
Never forget. Leave the memories alone.
Yeah. They're no rehabbing them assholes. Fuck them.
Everybody from the 80s is screwed. So, screwed. But the shit show. So, pipes burst, plumbing happened, and I honestly couldn't believe that I genuinely thought it was mud. That made me feel overly sick. People were eating it. Mm-hmm. And feeding it to each other.
And not just that, but the fact that, again, a lot of the fucking shit, there were $4 water bottles and whatever. So a lot of people, they did it out of jest, but they were doing it out of necessity to sustain themselves.
Yeah, but okay, this is where they did screw up though, because okay, if water is $4 and beer is $4,
Well, again, that was part of the fucking problem, man. Like that's the thing. They didn't give a shit. All they cared about was money. They didn't care about like putting fucking 3 fucking violent bands, right? And ICP.
After Sheryl Crow.
Again,
Hey, leave ICP alone. Don't do it. Don't.
Are you a juggalo?
I am a juggalo.
Fuck this shit. Now,
We're not friends anymore. Are you going?
So fucking superhuman. Shout out to you, good sir. Fucking hell, somebody has to, because I feel like how when Eugene wrestled or Dave Sullivan back in the day, right? It's like this is a person that might be, or at the very least, portraying somebody with mental illness, and we're gonna watch them get their ass kicked. That's cool. That's cool.
But you can still give it to him because he gave a lot of people hope, even though his character was technically a parody. But then, would you have rather an actual person with severe disabilities getting in the ring being potentially taken advantage of?
Check out the reviews of the new Sia movie, and then come back to me.
Oh no. I will.
I'm laughing, but fuck.
Is that what's happening now? Is that what's...
You know about this movie?
No.
Where Sia penned a fucking movie, Sia the Chandelier, like being so drunk that she's swinging from the chandelier. That one, that doesn't want to show her face, she fucking made a movie that stars Kate Hudson, and she's sister to an autistic whatever. And basically it's a non-autistic actress playing autistic, which nobody balked, and I haven't seen the movie, but nobody balked when it was Juliette Lewis and Giovanni Ribisi and the other sister. But now, or maybe it's just a fucking shit movie. Where
it probably is, because you have like the Peanut Butter Falcon, amazing at the.
That was great. That was
there. You go. And the actor that played, I can't even remember the character's name. He generally did have. It's Down syndrome, isn't it? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So couldn't work. Okay, fine. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
But back to your shit.
So the shit made me feel sick. The simple fact that it was me trying to fathom. I get, and I understand party manic, behavior, and you're eating. He's eating, everyone, and I am talking about feces. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. All right. Here we go. How I couldn't. I literally. It was seeing people being thrown in. It was seeing people making people go into the flipping stuff, and I'm like, I get it. It's all fun. If it's mud, it's mud. But that's general human waste you're rolling. And none of you have had showers in 2 days already.
Oh, can we talk about the shower situation of Woodstock '99?
Oh, you mean the Soviet Union refugee camp showers that they decided to sell off on people after paying 180 quid? I would be expecting porcelain, tiles, crystal. They basically put planks of wood together with a hose. I would have kicked the hell off. You know what it reminded me of? Fire. This is just fire.
Well, it's funny, right? And all the while, not Michael Lang, the other guy, is like, fucking Fred Durst. Fuck Fred Durst. But again, showers that look like, I don't know, current day Sarajevo, right? Like that's, if you live in a municipality, chances are some transients have jerry-rigged the system that is actually better than this in your neighborhood. Which...
But after paying $180 at least minimum, and then food on top of that, feeding yourself on top of that, clothing, that's what you gave me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people just didn't even, that could afford it, didn't even. There was a lady in there that was just like, I took one look at the showers. I was like, nope, I'm good. Totally fucking good. But again, Mike Lang and the other guy, right, John, I want to believe it is, they had all this shit together. They knew everything, right? They knew the proper what is it? The je ne sais quoi? Medical treatment for all such people. That's why a guy didn't die. He was having a literal fucking heat stroke, and you fucking paddled him to death.
Mm-hmm.
Like you fucking did the defibrillator for somebody having a heat stroke that brought in a fucking
Fry!
Yeah.
Fry!
Yeah. But again, this wasn't by Mike Lang's and the other guy. This wasn't a fucking cash grab to them. No, this was something that they cared. They fucking cared about the fucking people that went. They cared about the artists, right? Well, guess what? A guy died. How many fucking dozens of fucking, people, mainly women, 90% of them women, and even a child, were molested. Like, did you foresee that? Moby didn't fucking stay. But again, you're totally earnest. And it's about Fred Durst's part.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about his peace patrol. The peace patrol. The actual security guards for the entire event taking bribes. You're gonna take away my alcohol and my food, but if I slip you a $5, I can keep my weed and my coke and my pills and my acid and my everything and like everything else that's probably stuck underneath my shoe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Fucking Steve Tatum says, "Family, what's up, brother?" And
Hey.
and apparently they just kept on rolling. Oh,
Aww.
yep.
Saliva were better. I like Limp Bizkit, but Saliva were better.
I don't. It's not like I don't dislike. I mean, I like all the shit that I used to. I will fucking put on Sum 41. Fuck. Dexter Holland of The Offspring is the voice of reason before they launch into No Self-Esteem. I mean, it's okay because I like the abuse, right? I know she's playing with me, but I'm just a sucker with no self-esteem. But he's the fucking voice of reason, by God, of the fucking atrocities of misogyny and groping and molestation that is being played out in front of his eyes by thousandfolds.
Mm-hmm. On a 3-day basis.
Well, it was night one, but even on night one, he's seeing hundreds of women, hundreds of women in real time get groped by thousands of guys.
To the point where they advertised
it. Represent their offspring, who has such shit that's pretty fly for a white guy. No self-esteem. Keep them separated, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you bad. Like, they're the voice of reason. Yeah, and God love them, because shit, yeah, somebody had to be. But fuck, man. I can imagine what it must have been for them to fucking watch it, and they got nothing. Like, I mean, Altamont, right? Altamont, where the fucking Rolling Stones play, and they fucking hire the fucking Hells Angels as security. Right? And people died. But, again, these Peace Patrol, Hells Angels, in terms of anarchy and chaos that they brought to the fucking show, I'd say they're even. They're fucking even.
It was weird. Like, you can see this because you obviously watched it 1,000 times by now. Did you slowly see the decline like I did? You started off with James Brown, he was making people get all funky. It was so happy. It was cool.
Al Green is here. Al Green, as Pastor Al Green, he had just become ordained as a minister. And the funny thing about it is, that's even a cool little wormhole to go down, because, like, he was a womanizing whatever. He's Al fucking Green, right? Until somebody, his girl, found out about him, threw grits in his fucking lap, burnt him to shit, and then ended up committing suicide, right? And that was it. He was on the, the by and by, right? The sweet abyss, not sweet abyss, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, singing hymnals and all that. That'll do that to you, right? but he's here at at Woodstock and trying to do whatever. But again, across this crowd, fuck, to a lesser extent, right? I went to Family Values, the B show, right? After Korn had left for Ozfest, right? And they gave it to Limp Bizkit. The A shows, the A towns, like Anaheim with the Arrowhead Pond and Madison Square Garden, those shows were Exhibit, who was hot off of fucking Pimp My Ride, right? Papa Roach, right? And then Limp Bizkit. Well, the B towns, which at the time Inglewood and the Forum were, we got the A show. We got DMX, Godsmack, and Limp Bizkit, which was a far better show, despite the fact that Fred Durst was so inebriated that he couldn't remember the words to fucking Nookie and ends up tripping over one of the PAs.
Was it like Motorhead when he was singing Triple H to the ring at Mania?
Dude,
How do you not know your episode?
never forget. But here's the deal. That was the night that DMX fucking went and got booed for reciting his version of the Lord's Prayer, right? And he stomped off. It was on MTV News and everything. I was there, right? So that was just him. 12 minutes into his set, DMX fucking walks out because there was Godsmack and Limp Bizkit fans that didn't give a shit about fucking DMX or the Lord, right? So that was a minutia of Woodstock 99. Minutia.
It was the fire. It was the chaos. It was everything that happened. I just couldn't. I wouldn't. I feel bad now. No, there was an air of guilt that kind of lingered over me after watching this. Thank you very much.
Is it a? But why? I guess explain the guilt.
Because I don't know. I never saw, obviously, because I was a kid, the complete misogynistic nature of most of this type of music or most of these acts or most of the tracks. Like, I was there with everybody else bobbing along with my iPod in my ear. That was cool. But then when you kind of look back on it, that kind of era or that type of music meshed together in one place, especially like that, caused a lot emotionally. And then generation wise, it caused a lot emotionally. I mean, you had what became known as the frat boy behavior. Like, you could never redo American Pie ever again. You cannot. That would never happen. But that is the behavior that was acceptable back then.
Yeah, but then you couldn't do Animal House. You couldn't do what is it, Porky's. You can't do. There's a lot of shit that you can't do. And the reason why I don't feel bad, or I don't feel guilty for watching, this or whatever. I feel horrible. I don't feel good about life, society, especially here in America where this shit plays out every fucking day, right? Seemingly. But in terms of a timestamp of like what our ideals were of where we were in a culture, right? This is a fucking time capsule, right? And I would hope that we're a little bit more involved than we were back at Woodstock 99, right? But again,
dude, COVID happened, the world shut down, and everybody went, ah!
We're still here.
I know that, but everybody went, ah!
Dude, fucking, have you heard about the fucking Delta variant? We're almost shut down again. Like, motherfuckers
Delta, Beta, Zeta, Beta, Alpha, Omega.
Noctu Ferrito Luferigno or whatever the fuck, whatever that line in the original Space Track was, right? Star Trek Space Track. Like I said, I know nothing of the world outside of like music and punchy, kicky, slammy stuff. So
same. That's why we're friends.
Yes, but it's so much safer here, right? It's so much safer here when you look at the rest of the fucking world and just go like, the fuck, man? What are we doing?
I know.
Do you have any more of the list, or?
So my last thing on my list right here is I had absolutely sorry. I had absolutely no idea that where is it? 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 It was here. It was here. I had absolutely no idea that Offspring about amongst all of the chaos that was going on, amongst all of the misogynistic behavior, especially when they heard that it was happening, stood up in front of thousands of people and literally said, "What the fuck? Cut the shit." And the simple fact that he said it and it didn't click was what bothered me the most. He said it. He called you all out in front of the world, and you still continued for another day.
And not just that, right? Because if you look at it, nobody was throwing bottles at James Brown, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody was fucking throwing bottles at Al Green.
I didn't get to that point yet.
Right. So, I hate to use this reference because it is so dark, right? But like, I remember the feeling that I felt that fateful day, September 11th, when I saw the fucking, planes crash into the Twin Towers, right? And the feeling like, oh my God, like, yes, horror, right? Complete and utter horror, shock, fragility, all of it, right? But also the concept of a plane going into a building, just brass tacks, right? That doesn't make sense. This doesn't go here. Plane, building, those two things don't get together. It's like, I don't know, Sea Creature and Einstein. Like, those don't... It's like Johnny Knoxville and, I don't know, Elon Musk trying to fucking have a conversation together. It doesn't...
That would be an interesting conversation.
That would be great. I want it to happen on Joe Rogan, and I want them to both be dosed with all, like, just, like, all those psychedelic toads just in a line, and as they're walking towards the table, they're just, like, fountain-like, just spraying both Elon and Johnny Knoxville with all of the fucking psychedelic, all this shit, and then they plump them down, and the fucking, and when you end the fucking podcast is when they become clear again, when they become level-headed again.
You know what's weird? That's when we'll probably find out that Johnny Knoxville is a genius.
Then fuck, we're swapping out Johnny Knoxville for Steve-O.
There. Oh no! You want to find out that Steve-O's a genius?
Yes.
No.
Oh, because we get to sacrifice him to the aliens. We will convince them that he's our leader.
That's the truth. Take him, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you mean the guy with the fucking Matchbox car in his butt? Yeah, that guy. He's like, you want the Cheeto? You can take him too. Or the guy that sleeps. Which one? Which leader? They already got Haiti, so that was us. That was fucking us. So, like, which leader do you want? I nominate Steve-O.
Me too. I second that nomination. Take him. I'll call the Men in Black now.
Now that I'm playing with it, fuck, take Vince. I'd say Vince. Vince with aliens. Vince McMahon with aliens.
No, because if that happens, there'll be no more wrestling.
I don't know. Triple H has something to say about that.
Oh, that's true. No, because what will happen is the aliens will take the whole family. And then they'll do wrestling on Mars. Imagine WrestleMania on Mars.
How small-minded are the fucking aliens that they have world domination, at least of this world, of Earth, and what have you, and they go, no, Sanford, Connecticut, that's what we're doing. Or Florida, right? Because
Florida! It's Florida, though. No.
Florida, God. That's its own fucking country. Like, you can't even... Like, again, not to make light of a fucking horrendous situation. It's a horrendous situation. But the architect that built the fucking towers, the condo towers that fucking just imploded.
Oh, yeah.
They were revoking his license in 1962. And still...
He was cheap, probably.
Oh, fuck me. Aliens, come on.
Take them all. Just we'll write a list. I'll write a list for you.
I want to have faith in humanity, but you motherfuckers make it hard, man. Y'all motherfuckers make it hard.
Dude, I'm waiting to see in my head, the end of the world is Independence Day, and I'm gonna sit on the top of the Sears Tower with popcorn and just wait.
What about the actual end of the world where they fucking party? That movie when they fucking don't they get the aliens high? Is that the Seth Rogen mod?
Yes, that's the day. Yeah, that's the Seth Rogen one.
Man, dude, that's the fucking Joe Rogan podcast. Like you got a psychedelic toad, right, with his third eye open, where you fucking put the Elon Musk Neuralink on the fucking psychedelic toad, and have him spit in the face of the alien, and then we'll figure out what the fuck is up.
That's true. You can tell us why we're here.
You can't, and like I feel like Rogan and the ghosts of Mean Gene, because like with all the fucking the psychedelics or whatever, you could conjure up Mean Gene between an alien and a psychedelic toad. You can conjure up Mean Gene. So I feel like those two would be the spirit of Mean Gene and Joe Rogan, as Joe Rogan, basically getting a Neuralink psychedelic toad and an alien together and figuring shit out. That's how we'll figure it. Like, that's it. That's how we solve like global domination, greed, lust, the fucking 7 deadly sins, the fucking what is it? The ecological fucking shit that we've put the fucking earth through. Like all of it. I think that shit will be sorted out with that. See,
the psychedelic hypnotoad.
Psychedelic. Well, he's not hypnotized. It's just we can with the Elon Musk, Neuralink deal.
Oh, the brain thing.
Yeah, we can read his brain as he's fucking spitting on the alien, and the alien is fucking tripping balls. Would probably also be with a Neuralink on, preferably, because I don't want our ears to bleed because I'm thinking of. If even Alanis Morissette's character in Dogma, right? Whatever, and it fucking splits everybody's fucking eardrums in two. Well, imagine an alien, right? Like
alien starts talking, it starts.
Yeah, so we need it in the words of Living Color, right? We need it in a language that we all can understand, right? That's right. Shout out to CM Punk and AEW, right? I mean. And Bryan Danielson. I'm so pissed that Europe wasn't on fucking Woodstock 99. What the fuck would Europe have to say about this?
Nothing. Have you listened to our music?
No. Europe is the band.
Europe the band. I'm talking about the actual continent. I'm just like, if it was over here, have you listened? Have you seen the way we do? No, I'm joking. Sorry. We were talking about the actual. I was like, I'm sorry. I have broke him. He's broken now.
Oh, this is so great. Oh, man. Fucking Woodstock 99. What a shit show. That is a shit show that we're in, right? Because,
he's actually crying.
I am so fucking crying. This is so great. No. And these are the tears wept by humanity. The humanity is fucking, or lack thereof, have put these here. But, okay, right? So, Steve Tatum says, just take Jeff Jarrett first.
Are we just gonna make a list for the aliens who we want them to collect? This is a shout out to everybody who's on the according to Wiz Twitter. We want your list. Who do you want the aliens to come get? We want your list.
Yes, please. I'll retweet that, please. That is
blow up his Twitter.
Oh yes, DM me. I want this. I want all of it. All of the social medias, whatever. Please, I want the list because this. Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. Thank you. Oh God. No, but what I was going to say is like, yeah, Woodstock '99, right? And we had all of these horrible things happen, right? And it was forced, right? Especially the sexual assaults and everything like that, right? Then you have our last president who, what did he say on that bus?
I did not have sexual
No, 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 no.
relation.
No,
Oh,
that's no. I'm talking about the last one.
oh, the last president. I thought you said one
What
in
did
the
he want to
actual time
grab?
we're talking about.
What did he want to grab?
Oh, grab him by the P words.
Right, and then the supporters, God love them, the godly people, right? But they're like, yeah, I'd like him to grab my whatever. So it's almost like Stockholm syndrome, right?
Woodstock Home Syndrome.
Well, oh, Jesus Christ! Look at this mythical.
Good at this.
Yeah. Ooh, Jesus. Now my that happened. It's literally brain matter dripping down my nose.
Be careful, you might get attached like that guy.
I'm just saying. I know. But it's just weird, right? All of these horrible assaults happen and whatever, and then 99 to essentially 2019, right? And of the gender, they're like, yeah, I would love him to grab me by the. Where the fuck were you guys in '99 then?
They were probably there.
Nah, they were probably in church.
No. You go to church after.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, like I said, grew up Buddhist, so I don't have a dog in the hunt one way or another. So right on. Good for you, all of them. Jesus, Allah, Judeo, all Krishna, right on. Good for you, man. Just be fucking better people, folks, man. Don't let. Oh, what I want to say is, we're doing all these fucking docs about fucking, Woodstock. They did the fucking A&E biography of Ozzy, which kind of there was like a 5-minute fucking piece just on Ozfest, right? When the fuck are we gonna get Lilith Fair? Did everybody forget about Lilith Fair?
Yeah, I have.
Never forget. Oh my God, Lilith Fair was like all women, all women. What is it? The concert, whatever, and all women patrons, fans. God, let me read. Let me read down the not lighting fair. God, my internet is so stupid. Little, I don't even know how. LITH fair.
Oh, Lilith Fair.
Lilith Fair. Yes. Yeah. Okay, here we go. We've got just showing some of the artists. Sheryl Crow, Sarah McLachlan, Tracy Chapman, Jewel, Paula Cole, Suzanne Vega, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Fiona Apple, Joan Osborne, The Cardigans, Emmylou Harris, Lisa Loeb, Indiegogo's, Meredith Grix. Do I need it? India RE? Wow. Right? Natalie Merchant? That was on like the first stage. That was the first stage. And it was, it only did like 97 to 99. But I remember some of the girls that I liked at the time, they were like, oh, we're going to go to Lilith Fair. Nobody fucking talks about Lilith Fair. That was all like a all female fucking card, man. Like that was a whole all female, a bill, like for days, like think Ozfest but for women and no misogyny, none of this. And these are great fucking groups. These are great, like on the fucking main stage in '90. Look, I read off the main stage artists, right? Then the second stage artists. We've got nobody of note. Oh, Morchiba. I love them. And then the village stage artist, the third stage, Dido, Pat Benatar. Fuck, man. I mean, just that alone. A lot of people that are maybe too indie for my tastes, but I mean, those two. Like in 1997, Dido was third act. Pat Benatar was third act, like third stage, on a fucking big ass all female festival. So nuts. Like '98 goes Erica Badu, Indigo the Girls, Joan Osborne, Liz Fair. Uh,
So, so what is the excuse if this was '98 and Woodstock was '99, and you've got an entire festival filled from top to bottom with women? What is the excuse of now having three? Three?
do you want me to tell you?
They didn't give a shit. They did not me. They didn't.
No, this is simply a backlash, and I think, you know, one thing that the documentary, for everything that is great, right? I I believe it was very narrative filled, and Bill Simmons, who, you know, helped produce it, he's a sports presenter. He's on ESPN, right? By all intents and purposes, or was, you know, but that was a major part of his career. He's telling the story, and this is a series. This is, they said like season one or episode one, so this is a series that they're going to go and look at different things from the scope of Bill Simmons's production team, and look at and basically do a 2 hour documentary on each one. So I can't wait to see what the next one is going to be. But this is only episode one, right? But one thing that they failed to do, right? Just like, you know, they had John, the co-promoter, fucking trash Fred Durst, but no rebuttal from Fred Durst, right? They're telling a fucking narrative, right? They're not telling what else was happening around this time. I'm going to put on my fucking tinfoil hat, but would you... I'm going to say that maybe Woodstock 99 and the way that it was formatted might have been in a direct response and retaliation of Lilith Fair.
Yeah.
That's it. You want your feminism? I got your feminism. 3 fucking female acts on 3 days. And again, peace and love. You don't get that without the mothering, the nurturing, right? And you got 3 fucking female acts. So yeah, that's it. They didn't look at the full scope of what the fuck was happening in '99. Outside of, you know, the Offspring, you know, bring up blow up dolls with the pieces with the faces of the Backstreet Boys and beating them with the bat and all that and whatever. You know, and again, ideologically speaking, like, you're gonna beat the fucking Backstreet Boys, effigies of the fucking Backstreet Boys, but they'll also want to quell the, again, the fucking atrocious shit that was happening right in front of you. You can't... Mm-hmm. This is, again, the Nipsey Hussle. Tattooed face and the N-words, you're not gonna get into fucking Silicon Valley. Right? It's a paradox. It's a fucking paradox. So that's what I think. I wanna believe, until somebody proves me different, that literally Woodstock 99, aside from being the cash grab or whatever, is a direct response to Lilith Fair. Saying, fuck you, Lilith Fair, look what we could do. It's fucking Stewart from Bad TV. Look what I could do.
Yeah.
That's it. And look at how many people died or
Suffered
are
in general.
irreparably harmed emotionally, psychologically.
Scars.
And again, they sold DVDs for this fucking thing. Like, again, the MTV deal. Now, like, MTV fucking, Cody Rhodes, talking about Ted DiBiase, right, Jr., like, and getting backstage. He was trying to fuck on me. Well, that's what fucking John and Michael Lang were trying to tell you about MTV. That they were invited and then they were trying to fuck on him, because their story is, once MTV started fucking, giving their narrative, but it was actually fucking happening. They literally had the guy that let out the chant of Nookie and he's singing and calling and response or whatever. They got that guy fucking 22 years later. It's like, I'm a fucking dumbass. Whatever. But again, they try to paint the narrative that, oh, MTV, whatever. But did MTV make the showers as they were? Appropriate plumbing, right? $4 water bottles, right? Booking the
Proper
fucking
toilet areas.
yeah,
Working.
booking the fucking guests, medical, the fucking
Security.
peace patrol. Yeah, that was all Fred Durst. Man, fuck Fred Durst, man. He did all of that. Fred Durst sold DVDs of this albums of the live performances. Now, when I put it in my story, there was a fucking song, right? And for it to, play a song on the fucking social media stories, that means it was licensed to be there. So by me, probably one of the fucking most angrily acid-charged versions of Sheryl Crow's Makes You Happy. Well, guess what? Mike and John are fucking making a buck all these years later. And what happened? Oh, again, all the women that were groped. Woodstock 99, man.
Yep. It was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. But again, if you wanted to ask, how did we get here as a society? This is a very good indicator. I'm just saying.
Or just look out your window right now.
It's actually pretty sunny out. I might step out. This shit was really dark.
I
Shit was
know.
really dark. Yeah. But to spread a lot more light in the darkness, you're doing a lot of things. So how can the people find such things to bring the light into their life to basically lift themselves out of the fucking darkness of this podcast, but enlighten them into many other things?
Well, if you wanted to be enlightened with this wonderful face, you can type at BigFemVader, there it is, into every social media platform that you can find, and you will get this wonderful face. Not only that, but you can also type in Fierce Females Glasgow and Wrestling, and you'll see all the amazing things we'll be doing quite soon once the country opens.
Oh, is there a date? There might be a date coming up.
There might be a date soon. It will be in soon. Soon.
Yes. I'm Courtney Woods. You can find me in all of my probably mundane opinions of shit, and also a lot of fail videos. That's where the wormhole that I've gotten in. I like to get people fucked up. I posted somebody like doing a fucking, I don't know, skateboard trick or whatever, and he fucking fell right on his head. And I put that to Van Halen's Jump. So you can find me with such things like that. And if you're feeling bad about your day, again, at least you're not the guy that fucking went on the skateboard and clobbered his head. So don't be that. But and I also do the podcast, so you can follow it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. But you could also listen to one of our mutual friends, right, Zeta Zhang, tell you how great this thing is. So let's do that.
Peace.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make